You don't go to the Jewish community and say, oh, you know what? He's going to put you back in the Holocaust. Mm-hmm. But you come over to Black people and literally say something as ridiculous. This person is going to put you back in chains, and this person is going to take away all your rights, and this person is going to do that. When the fact of the matter is that everything that would actually put me in some type of a bind is 400% higher than it was 4 years ago. So if you want to talk about any type of enslavement, talk about the monetary
of Black women is Congressman Maxine Waters.
Trump has told you who he is. He defined himself. He is a no good, deplorable, lying, despicable human being. And he's talking about if he doesn't win, there's going to be a bloodbath. There's going to be violence. There's going to be a civil war. Who the hell do you think he's coming after? Who's going to be targeted? Who is he talking about? But you know he means business because he is the one that led the invasion on the Capitol January 6th. Now, do we have to talk about the difference between these two? Now, I want to tell you, no matter what anybody says, it ain't going to be no other Democratic candidate. It's going to be Biden, and we better know it. Where people are talking about Biden is too old. Hell, I'm older than Biden.
And it shows.
You look good, Congresswoman.
And I get up every morning.
All right.
And I exercise.
All right.
And I work late hours.
All right.
I take care of Black people.
All right.
Maxine Waters is now 81 years old. She served U.S. Representative for California's 43rd District since 1991. 30 years. Before that, she was in the California State Assembly for 14. What has she done? What has she done for her district? I may start a firestorm with you guys, but I am no longer for all Black women. I'm for all Black men. And let me preface this by saying I am married to a Black man and I am raising a Black son. But it's people like her, like Marilyn Mosby, like, all of the politicians here in Baltimore City that have stood by and become rich off the backs of Black and brown people in their districts. These people don't give a damn about us. All they care about is power, staying in power, and they will do whatever it takes, whether it be to continue to race bait to us as Black people, whether it be to go up and praise Joe Biden and all this type, whatever it takes, they will do to stay in power. I want to support my community, but I wouldn't support somebody like her because she don't care about us. She cares about lining her pockets. She's gotten rich while being in office. Her net worth is over $2 million.
It was probably actually north of $2 million. Her, James Clyburn, okay, he's another one who has successfully incorporated his family into his, whole political dynasty. His daughter was an FCC commissioner. So these people, they literally, these Black politicians, most of them, act like literal overseers on a plantation that are designed to keep other Blacks on that plantation. And they sell us this line. What the thing that gets me is how they can go into these Black churches and they can pantomime this Black affect, okay? And what gets me is what resonates with a lot of these audiences is the notion that, if a Republican gets in, remember, Trump was supposed to send us back to Africa, okay? Mitt Romney was supposed to put us back in chains. Listen, if you're a Black person and you are actually afraid of someone putting you in slavery, first thing you need to do is read the Second Amendment. And the second thing you need to do is grow up, because they go to the Jewish community and talk about substantive issues, okay, foreign policy as it relates to Israel, business, Asian community, economic development, Hispanic community, immigration and economic development. All they got to do is come into a black church, hum a few bars of an Hebrew spiritual, exactly, and tell us that if we vote for that guy, he's going to put us back in change. And that does it.
It does it.
Black people. It's insane. It is absolutely insane. People need to wake up.
It works every time. One of the problems with Auntie Maxine when she was talking was that she talked about she's exercising and she gets up early. Well, the problem is that she's not running. Biden is, and he doesn't do those things. He is declining. So that's the problem. It doesn't matter what she does, okay? That's number one. Every year, every 4 years, certainly, the Democrats have been winning, if you will, against their own base on these same tropes that use the fear, the demagoguery, and it works. I come to the conclusion, I think I said this last year, where I know what people mean. I know what we say when they say they're not voting in their own best interest. Actually, her base is, because they're voting to be get hands out from the government. They're voting to get the milk from the tits of the government cows. That's what they believe is in their best interest. If somebody is telling them they're going to feed them, they're going to clothe their children, they're going to feed their children breakfast, lunch, and dinner in school, you don't have to be a parent. I'll parent your child for you. Send them to this public school. And this is what they're telling them. We'll pay for daycare. Then they believe that that is in their best interest. What they don't understand, and seemingly never will, many of them, is that they will always be wherever that level is. They'll always need from the government. And who's paying it? Remember, the government produces nothing. They can only take compulsorily from those who do produce to give to those who don't produce. This is asinine, but these fear tactics and tropes work every time, and this is how they maintain their base. And one more thing, we've been talking about Black women for all the wrong reasons. Guess who their majority base, or that they can rely on for the Democrat Party? Black women. They are consistently Democratic voters, and that's who they rely on.
Yeah. What are your thoughts here, Megan, on that exchange with Maxine Waters?
You know, the level of frustration, I don't even know. I stopped singing the Negro national anthem a long time ago because I believe in some type of futuristic speaking and manifestation. So if you're going to continue to sing with such great emotion that one day we'll be free, I have a problem with that, because you're still not free. What are you waiting on? What does freedom look like? If this is, then what will be free? And so when you have conversations like in 2024, anybody is going to put you in chains, just like you had said earlier. You don't go to the Jewish community and say, "Oh, you know what? He's going to put you back in the Holocaust."
Mm-hmm.
You don't do that, but you come over to Black people and literally say something as ridiculous. There's not even enough cotton to be picked at this point to put us all in slavery. Where are you going to get all the cotton from? It's ridiculous to even have this kind of conversation. And whether it was the right or the left saying it, I'd say the same thing. This is ludicrous. Why are you talking to me like that? It is exceptionally disrespectful to any type of intelligence that I have for you to tell me that this person is going to put you back in chains, and this person is going to take away all your rights, and this person is going to do that, when the fact of the matter is that everything that would actually put me in some type of a bind is 400% higher than it was 4 years ago. So if you want to talk about any type of enslavement, talk about the monetary.
Americans now collectively have over $1 trillion in credit card debt. This is the highest it's ever been. Okay, because they are resorting to credit. Okay, because as Megan said, inflationary prices. So, yeah, you know, these people come on television and say everything. Yeah, Mika and Joe say everything's good. They're getting millions of dollars of income flowing into their household. You know, I go to the grocery store for me and my wife, and like I always say, $80 is the new 40.
When I listened to Maxine Waters, you know, that idea that they're a cult. I mean, she was speaking like she was a cult leader. And for her to say that something about Trump, something about him promising a bloodbath when he didn't mean it like that, if you really listen to what he said. Also that he somehow created the insurrection. She's a horrible lying woman, because she is the one who actually said, when Trump was still in office, she literally said, if you see anybody from that cabinet, from Trump's cabinet, in the restaurant, in the department store, at a gasoline station, you get out and you create a crowd and you push back on them and you tell them they're not welcome anymore anywhere. She literally incited violence, and she was speaking outside to a crowd of people. So, you know, these people are lying, conniving, disgusting people. And yes, she's very, very old, and I can't believe that she's like a witch, really, like an old, haggard witch who cannot stop. Like at this point, you should just go. And no, it's like an urge. You know, she needs to keep fighting because it's like evil in her. And this is how they are. It's very cultish. So I mean, I can't even compare it. Yes, in the Soviet Union, things were kind of similar. It's true that when Soviet Union began to collapse and people started to have different points of view and they began to argue, there were people who just, no matter what, like the country is falling apart. There's literally no food in the store, and there's still no. This is our idea. We have to stick to it.
Well, let me say this real quick, and it piggybacks on something that someone in the comments said. From the beginning, the Democrat Party has been a party of tyrants. All right, they're the party that actually fought a war and seceded in order to maintain slavery. This is in their DNA. It's one of the reasons why the Republican Party is lost, because the sole reason why they were originally founded was abolishment of slavery. After that was done, they've been wandering the wilderness ever since. But we can't ignore the fact that one of the main reasons this might be the main reason that they don't want Trump in there is because Maxine Waters is a part of that military industrial complex. You had no new wars started under Trump. You had him working to shut down the generational war in Afghanistan, crossing the DMZ, talking to Kim Jong-un. We talk a good game when it comes to peace, but then we got somebody who actually wanted to normalize relationships with Russia and didn't pump up the budgets and revenues of Northrop Grumman and Lockheed. And they don't like that. The establishment, left and right, do not like that. America has got to keep something going in terms of military conflict. And the fact that Trump was reluctant to do that is a big part of why they don't want him in office and will do anything to stop him.